first of the 3 females believed to have been kidnapped in Takoradi disappeared. The second, Ruth Love Kwesing, has been gone for 100 days, whilst the third, Prisla Mansibia Kranche, has been missing for 83 days. Here at Joy News, we join forces with families and friends to demand swift and consistent action from state security agencies on the hashtag Bring Back Our Tardy Girls. Coming up in tonight's edition of Newsnight, Parliament suspends approval of 2 billion Ghana cedi sovereign for the Ghana Amalgamated Trust over low numbers of MPs in the House.
But we are worried that our Agricultural Development Bank and NIB at the end of this exercise may not own my ass.
Plus, minority in Parliament warns pension schemes expected to invest in the Ghana Amalgamated Trust will be on the losing side if they proceed with such a move. And we stay a while longer on the minority because they are blaming last night's nationwide blackouts on government's inability to buy crude oil.
The true story is the fact that the generating plants are not able to buy crude.
As concerns about erratic power supply heightens, we'll bring you expert analysis on the situation. Executive Director of the ARC Foundation urges police to offer regular briefings to families of 3 missing girls in Takoradi as hope continues to wane over 200 days since the first girl disappeared.
They must be given some briefing to some people who would be able to let the family know that they're still working at it. The silence is uneven and it's not healthy for the families. It's a very painful thing.
Schoolmates and teachers of the missing girls are, however, hopeful they would return to join their colleagues.
It wasn't easy for us as a school. This girl is still in first semester and she did only 2 months. So please help us to bring back our girls.
We have details as the trauma of losing their daughters forces families into their rooms as early as 7 p.m. in the Takoradi metropolis.
And in business tonight, Ghana partners with Ivory Coast to develop its own marketing standards for cocoa exports. We have details for you in 30 minutes.
And later in sports, from jail to international football, we'll hear from Asante Kotoko midfielder Kwame Bonsu after earning a first call-up into the Black Stars 8 months after his release from a Swedish jail.
And later, some lecturers and students of the University of Education, Winneba, are calling on government to intervene to save the image of the university from being dragged in the mud. We have all that and more here in tonight's edition of Newsnight. Do join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp on 0244 340 437. I am MFA Pau. We settle for the details now, and Parliament has a while ago suspended approval of a 2 billion Ghana cedi sovereign guarantee for the trust because of the low number of MPs in the House. The Amalgamated Trust is expected to raise capital from pension schemes to help recapitalize 5 local banks. The minority in Parliament is warning pension schemes expected to invest in the Ghana Amalgamated Trust will be on the losing side if they go ahead. They say a future NDC government will take a second look at the arrangement when they come to power. The NDC MP for Bolgatanga Central, Isaac Adongo, says Ghanaians will lose.
Mr. Speaker, we struggle to understand why we own our own bank, the National Investment Bank, why we own our own Agricultural Development Bank. Everybody has been called upon to capitalize his bank. We have refused to capitalize our bank. But we have gone around to say that another entity should come and write on our back for a guarantee from us to come and dilute our interest in our own bank. This is a very pathetic story. Mr. Speaker, if we give the guarantee to Ghana Amalgamated Trust, and Ghana Amalgamated Trust goes ahead to take a stake in National Investment Bank, what it simply means is that the people of Ghana are sharing the ownership of that bank with this private entity, Ghana Amalgamated Trust. Mr. Speaker, we have indicated that one of the exit options for Ghana Amalgamated Trust is that it can actually call a private person and give his interest to that private person. And when that private person takes up those shares, we would have lost the bank to a private person, and that would have been a backdoor approach to selling our bank to a third party, and we, the people of Ghana, would have connived with our own pension funds to deny our own bank and left our bank in the hands of a private person by the end of that process. Mr. Speaker, as Ghanaian as I am, I do feel that it is important that our bank remains in our own hands. Mr. Speaker, we have no problem if any private bank whether Omni Bank, Sahel Sahara, UND, decide to engage in any arrangement whatsoever. That is their own cup of tea, Mr. Speaker. But we are worried that our Agricultural Development Bank and NIB, at the end of this exercise, may not be owned by us.
So that's the argument advanced by the Bolgatanga Central MP Isaac Adongo against the Amalgamated Trust. But Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta was in Parliament and he's been defending the arrangement. He says there's nothing illegal about it.
Type of amalgam that has been expressed by our brothers across was also expected. Mr. Speaker, in the end, these banks like JP Morgan and Co. have become much stronger, and the government of the United States actually walked away with incredible amounts of profit because we provided both capital and technical support at the right time. Mr. Speaker, it is what we want to do with our banking institutions, and as leaders said, we cannot stay in this country for our banks to be owned all by foreigners. That is a compromise that we cannot adhere to. Mr. Speaker, the strategy we've taken, we are confident that appropriate and strong management will be given to these institutions, that the banks will turn around, that pension funds will make back their money and some, and we've also given the possibility of participating in the equity pickup. Mr. Speaker, with regards to ADB and NIB, as you know, government, central bank, Ministry of Finance, etc., remain the majority shareholders in these banks. And therefore, we are committed to saving them before anything occurs.
You heard the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. Let's head to Parliament because there's this debate about the legality or otherwise of the Ghana Amalgamated Trust. Joseph, so now that the Finance Minister settled the scores, were the minority satisfied?
They were still unconvinced. In fact, the minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu, in concluding the debate, indicated that they, the minority, are rejecting the request for approval. In fact, the report of the Finance Committee that came to the House showed clearly that the minority raised concerns, and at the level of the Finance Committee of Parliament, it was just the majority that went ahead to approve it. And so, as the minority leader commented on the issue just before the House suspended, he told the Speaker that, first of all, they, the minority, were ready to walk out if the House would want to go ahead with it, so that then it will be recorded in the documents that they, the minority, did not vote or did not partake in the processes to allow for the approval of this, or he was given the option that the Speaker can call for a head count of all MPs, so that then, again, it will be stated very clearly that when the voting was done per head count, the minority objected to it, even as the majority approved it. But eventually, the majority leader, Chairman Sabonsu, indicated that the House had enough numbers to debate the issue, but a requirement that in approving a deal like this, there are supposed to be at least more than half of all MPs on the floor, and as at the time that the conversation was ongoing, there weren't more than half the total number of MPs on the floor. They were stepping down the approval for that particular sovereign guarantee until a time when the full House and a lot more MPs are on the floor. So they went on to suspend it, and the Finance Minister spoke outside Parliament House, rejecting some of the issues that the minority raised, insisted that the caution that the minority is throwing to investors in that particular trust, that they wouldn't gain value for their money, is not something that would happen, and that the only intention behind all of this is to strengthen the banking industry.
So, Joseph, did the minority say what they would change exactly about this? Because we heard them say that a future NDC government would take a second look at the arrangement.
And so, even before Isaac Adongo made that point, they made a number of recommendations that they think when you look at the state-owned banks that are part of the whole GATS deal, including NIB and ADB, these are banks that government should have capitalized on its own, just as all the other banks had done, and not necessarily go for the route of a sovereign guarantee. And so their expectation is that government should raise money for those two state banks so that then they can reach the minimum capital requirement of 400 million cedis. And then if GATS will remain, then the available money should go to the private banks, the Sahel Sahara Bank and the two other private banks UMB, and then the last one that are actually needing that particular money. Isaac Adongo further, raised issues with the very legality of it, and those are the things that they want changed. That the GAT is established as a legally recognized entity to support just the private banks that need the support, so that then government focuses on capitalizing those specific state-owned banks.
Just before we let you off, Joseph, the House also approved a $750 million loan from Standard Bank of South Africa to finance some, we're told, infrastructural projects approved in the 2019 budget. But Mr. Adongo also, once again, has some concerns about it. He thinks that the economy is in trouble. That's why we're doing this.
He makes the point that when you look at the kind of rates that are on the monies that are being taken and how government had tried in the past to raise money on the capital market and that did not yield a positive result, it's an indication that investor confidence in the Ghanaian economy is low. In fact, he went on to make the point, quoting portions of the Finance Committee's report, that there is a situation where people who have invested money in Ghana, when the investment that they've done matures, instead of rolling over the money, they are taking the money and taking it to the United States of America to go do investments at that particular level. And he got a rebuttal to that from the chairman of the Finance Committee, that Dr. Makasibe Yeboah, who insisted that this is happening because interest rates are low here in Ghana when it comes to government investments and higher in the U.S., which is how come we are seeing that kind of capital flight. But Isaac Adongo's recommendation is that there is the need for government to see a situation where there will be some increase in the rates that government gives us some of these monies as a sure way to engender a lot more confidence in the Ghanaian economy. But he thinks for now the Ghanaian economy is headed into trouble and that the situation is quite worrying.
Joseph Opoku Gakpo is our parliamentary correspondent. You're still listening to Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, last night we experienced some nationwide blackout, and the minority on the Mines and Energy Committee side are insisting that the power challenges that we witnessed last night is due to government's inability to buy crude oil. According to them, the power distribution company doesn't have oversight responsibility over the northern part of the country that also witnessed outages. But the new power supplier, Power Distribution Services, has blamed the blackout on technical challenges with generation across the country. There have been scores of communities that have complained that electricity supply has been inconsistent. Let's hear from some of them.
In fact, it's been bad. Light will go off for 1 hour and come back, sometimes 2 hours and come back. And yesterday was so terrible, so terrible. In fact, we were afraid. We thought that the house was going to catch fire. The bulbs were just blinking. They have to rush and go and put off everything. It was so terrible. They have to do something about this.
For us at Oyibibush Canteen, it's not just about this week. It's been like for months. Almost every day, for 2 to 3 hours, the light goes off every single day.
From Kumasi, Obuasi Road, very, very west here. Power outages in the Ascent South here is very west. In fact, it's like disco lights over here. I think ECG and the latest GPS must come again and tell us something.
Normally, it was terrible. The whole but it doesn't look like we just respect to celebrate our 2 years anniversary. So the VRE or whatever, they have to come out and operate that system well, so that the power will be very good for us.
Some, consumers, power consumers there. But spokesperson for the PDS, William Boateng, is assuring that power will be restored by close of day in communities experiencing shortfalls.
About 2 main bulk supply points in Accra here. That is the Malam bulk supply point and the Traffic Road bulk supply point. It meant that the entire western and central parts of Accra were without power. Until this morning that we got enough power from Grico, our aggregator, and then we restored a full supply. So as we speak now, my last check, we have power in the system. We have enough from the generation end, and so the system is stable. If you are off, for example, in Dakuma and some other places, it's a localized fault, and the engineers are working to restore power.
So you've talked about enough power in the system, but as we speak, like you said, Dakuma and some other areas are still experiencing it, including Parliament, as we've just heard. Is it also a localized fault?
Yes, that might be a localized fault. The last time I checked, we have power in the system, so we don't have any problem coming upstream. What it means is a localized challenge. In fact, I had a blast at Dakuma and Bubuashi area, so the engineers are there. They've assured me that in the next 2 hours, they will stop our supply to the affected customers. I know of Bema Camp, where we have also one of those localized problems. So I'm in on the ground for these localized faults that we are working on.
Mr. Boateng, are we rationing power? Because prior to yesterday's incident, there are a lot of areas that were experiencing lack of power supply or so. Are we rationing power?
No, we are not rationing power.
That's William Boateng. He speaks for the PDS. But a member of the Mines and Energy Committee in Parliament, Edward Bauer, is demanding that government publishes a load shedding timetable to enable consumers plan.
Outage started about 4 or 5 days ago. Started with Northern Region. It started with Brown Hassel. It went to Bolga. Indeed, if you have asked your correspondents in all over the country, they will tell you that almost everywhere they had those outages. My argument is this: Power Distribution Service, which is PDS, they do not operate in Bolga. They don't operate in Tamale. They don't operate in Northern Volta. They don't operate in Sunyani, Northern Sunyani. So how come that if it was a disturbance in their system, it affected them? That is my logic. And I'm saying that the reason goes beyond just the disturbance within the PDS catchment area. It has to do with even a deficit in generation. And that is why people in Bolga, people in Tamale, people in Northern Brahabo, and then Northern Volta had those issues. So it is not just that.
Do you think someone should come clean on what exactly is happening?
I think that is what we should do. The transparency in the way we run our utility service. They should be able to tell all of us that, look, having these challenges, and that as an individual who stays in Accra or Kumasi or Takrady, that between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, you are going to have lights on. Between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, you are going to have lights on. So they should give us a power management system, a load shedding schedule that we can rely on. Or else you go to work and go home hoping that you get home and be able to iron a few clothes of yours for the following day. You'll be able to heat some food to eat. You'll be able to help your kids to do their homework. You get them, there's no lights because they have not forewarned you. And you are suddenly with such a surprise. And so for me, I think that there must be some level of transparency in the way our power utilities are working. Look, my brother, as I speak to you today, ECG owns the utility. I'm talking about the generator. Almost a tune of 2 billion. VRA, they owe Ghana Gas about $750 million because they can also pay for their gas because ECG is also not paying them. So there's a cascading effect up to even the person who's paying the gas. Now you have GNPC. That is supposed to be the aggregator of gas and they sell the gas to Ghana Gas. Ghana Gas is not able to pay GNPC. So therefore, GNPC is forced to always come to Parliament to ask for money.
So you heard the member of the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, Edward Bauer. Let's speak to someone who understands the workings of this sector better, Mr. Ishmael Ejekumhene. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. So we've heard the power distributors, for instance, they've said that they had some issues yesterday, but those who are still experiencing it may be localized faults. We've heard from the minority who think that is a load shedding. They should actually release a plan so that consumers can actually plan towards it. But from your reading of the situation, what exactly is the challenge?
Let me greet your listeners. Well, unfortunately, I'm not in a position to make any guesses here. I am only going to be able to rely on what Gridco has told us right now. There were some challenges in the transmission network that triggered a whole chain of reaction that led to the outages yesterday. Let's say that that's what happened yesterday. If it's load shedding, MFI, I think nobody can run away from it. If it's load shedding, it will come again, and everybody will see that it wasn't a transmission problem. From where I sit, there wasn't any shortage in generation yesterday, and I don't think there is any shortage in the generation today as well. So it couldn't have been generation problem that led to the outage last night. But whether or not there have been shortages over a period which would have triggered a load shedding, I am not seized with that fact. But if we focus on what happened yesterday and possibly part of today, it is not a generation problem, and it couldn't have been any indebtedness that led to that. But that is not to say that there is no problem in the system, because the debt issue is still a problem. And but that is not what has led to what the outages we are experiencing recently, because like they were saying, most of the fuel they've been running and using lately, these are all indigenous gas mainly. And it couldn't have caused the outages that we're experiencing. We're not saying that if some of the fundamental problems in the sector, like the debt that we're supposed to clear that led to the introduction of the ESLA and things like that, if those monies are not paid, ultimately it's going to affect the system, the power system. But yesterday was certainly not a generation problem. And today, too, my checks show that we have enough generation to meet the peak demand.
But prior to yesterday, although I'm sure you've heard people complain that there have been various power outages in some areas, and that should not be a cause for worry at all, you think, from where you sit?
Oh, any outage, MFR should be a cause for concern. But you know, we always need to distinguish between what we grew up to call lights off and what became known as doomsday, which was a deliberate intervention by the power utilities to say that you're going to go off for a period of time. We should never forget that even when we have enough generation capacity, our transmission network and also the distribution network should be able to carry the power to our homes. So we need to establish whether truly those cases that have been reported from various parts of the country were truly generation. Doomsday was a generation problem. We didn't have enough power for everybody. So you go off for 12 hours, you are back on. What are my checks doesn't show that there is a deficit that we are trying to plug by shedding load. If there's anything that we don't know, but if it's doomsday, then yes, there's cause for concern. If those outages are actually load management and to the extent that they are taking people off, then definitely we all need to be concerned, especially now that we're supposed to have enough generation capacity, more than we need. I mean, our peak demand is around 2,500 megawatts. Meanwhile, installed capacity is well in excess of 5,000 megawatts. So we shouldn't have a problem with our generation side. So if those outages are caused by are being caused by generation problems, then yes, we all should be concerned.
Okay. Mr. Ishmael Ejekumhene, we are grateful indeed for your time here on Newsnight. We've been talking about energy situation. We've heard the minority say that is because government has been unable to buy crude oil. That's how come we experienced the power outage last night. But we've heard the expert on that. We'll take a quick break here on Newsnight. When we return, Executive Director of the ARC Foundation is urging police to offer regular briefings to families of 3 missing girls in Takoradi as hope continue to wane over 200 days since the first girl disappeared.
They must be given some briefing to some people who would be able to let the family know that they're still working at it. The silence is uneven, and it's not healthy for the families. It's a very painful thing.
Schoolmates and teachers of the missing girls are however hopeful they will return to join their colleagues.
It wasn't easy for us as a school. This girl is still in first semester and she did only 2 months. So please help us to bring back our girls.
And later on Flip Side, we'll tell you how the Ghana-Nigeria soccer and jollof rivalry has taken a diplomatic turn. We'll hear more of that later on here on Newsnight. Let's take a quick break. We're right back.
Hello, I say, how did now? Vodafone normal 10 megabyte free data. It will call Smart Rubiadron. Share.
Hello, have you heard that Vodafone is giving 10 megabyte free data for every minute you talk? You just dial 50-50.
Yeah, hello? Aha! Right now, we the Vodafone people just they call plenty. So if as you talk 1 minute, you go get 10 megabytes. You talk 2 minutes, you go get 20 megabytes. 3 minutes.
Call Vodafone or any network and get 10 megabytes of free data every minute you talk. It's simple. Talk to browse. The more you talk, the more data you get. Dial 50-50 to subscribe. Talk more, browse more. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready? Thank you, folks. On my A list today, show some love for Contractor EB. So, Contractor, what do you think about the country's changing skyline?
Oh, send them down there, Shurima. Across skyline, they change you, papa.
Wow. Contractor, don't you get worried when you hear of buildings collapsing?
I'm out for an one on Tassam. It is the likability of using low quality product.
Please explain why.
Yeah, cement is no quality on your gasem. Village of Fefu. It was built with gasem. Says the gasem is your construction. See what pumping. Sha'anwani, can you tell market? Kotokana Kumasi Airport, Cape Coast Stadium, a trouble gas project in Gasebo. Messi, what the quality? You know what is the quality?
Gasem, 3 cement grades, greater value. Gasem, the nation builder.
It's the nation's biggest gathering of emerging leaders, young entrepreneurs, and tertiary students. It's the Springboard 2019 Global Convocation under the theme, The Digital Revolution. Come network with friends and connect with Albert and Comfort Okran and a team of CEOs and business leaders. Watch out for the brand new book entitled Snakes and Ladders by Albert and Comfort Okran. Date this Saturday, 16th March. Venue, National Theatre Accra. Time, 12 to 5 p.m. Main speakers, Kofi Dadzi, CEO of Runcard, and Salom Adadivo, CEO of MTN Ghana. Keynote speaker, Dr. Mensa Otabel. Dial *718*50# on your phone and follow the instructions on your screen to pre-register now. Contact 0249-999-555 or 0544-315-165 for more information on the 2019 Global Convocation and the Talent Expose. Main sponsor, other sponsors, UMB, Enterprise Life, Databank, Persol, Graphic Business, Dreamover, Yep Cleaning Services, and York's Rent-A-Car. Springboard is brought to you by Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Legacy & Legacy, and powered by Super Hits radio station Joy 99.7 FM.
The Honda Place Ghana brings you the Ghana at 62 promotion. Walk into the Honda Place showroom on the Graphic Road, Stallion Motors, Vintex Road, and Stallion Motors Kumasi, and get yourself the Honda Accord for the price of a Honda Civic. The Honda Accord 3.5 V6 model also comes with very attractive prices, and the fun doesn't stop there. For every purchase of the Honda City, Civic, CRV, and Pilot, you'll enjoy a special promotion price, which comes with attractive finance options, free registration, and 3 years warranty. Call the Honda Place hotlines today. Graphic Road 0244-327-489. Kumasi 0244-312-900. Spintex Road 0244-932-485. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Honda, the power of dreams.
Here's what people are saying about the GCB Easy Pick.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It just
makes sense.
Yes, saving makes a lot more sense now. GCB Bank will pay for anything you buy, from phones, TVs, air conditioners, generators, solar equipment to roofing sheets from any GCB partner shop. And you can pay back later at a reduced price of up to 25% in discounts. Simply walk into any GCB partner shop, pick up what you want at a GCB discount price and fill a form. GCB will pay for you, so you can pay back later in installments. Go, get it sooner, get it cheaper, pay later. GCB Easy Pick, it just makes sense. Terms and conditions apply.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
It's now time for Business on Newsnight, and Business on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all of its essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you? In our headlines tonight, Ghana partners with Ivory Coast to develop its own marketing standards for cocoa exports, and Oxfam engages multinational firms operating in Ghana on tax compliance issues. We have details of all that for you. But now, though, to our first story, and Cocoa Board has joined hands with its counterpart in Ivory Coast to develop their own standards for cocoa beans exported out of the two countries. The two regulators in charge of cocoa exports in their respective countries today initialed an agreement to aid this move in Ivory Coast. Cocoa Board's boss, that is Joseph Boahin Edu, who signed the agreement on behalf of Ghana, said the move is expected to influence the price of cocoa beans from the two countries.
Our two countries had been objecting to these aspects. It's not every aspect of the standards that, look unwanted. You have some aspects which we believe are obnoxious and will not work in the interest of our cocoa farmers.
But Honorable, one would ask that
when it comes to standardization, there can be only one standard. Why is Ghana and Ivory Coast trying to develop the standard when it comes to what you produce?
European Union, there's a committee, European Committee for Standardization, CEN. And CEN has its own standards that those who deal with Europe ought to meet. Notwithstanding the fact that we have the ISO standards being there. And therefore, if sub-region, West Africa, if Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, that is initiating, because we are already in the cooperation, if you can initiate standards, we do not see anything wrong with that.
Joseph Boahen Edu is the chief executive of Cocoa Board, and he spoke to Joy Business in Ivory Coast. This agreement would now put on hold the current international standard organization ISO 4 used for cocoa beans exported from Ghana and Ivory Coast. Away from that, an Oxfam Ghana, an advocacy firm, has begun an initiative to promote responsible tax compliance practice by multinational companies operating in the country. As an organization committed to promoting the welfare of the poor and vulnerable in society, Oxfam believes a responsible tax-paying firms will lead to improved domestic revenue. Fiscal policy analyst at Oxfam Ghana, Dr. Alice Ampabin, told Joy Business that the nation can only achieve the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda if we adhere to tax.
You're looking for companies, encouraging companies to go beyond the spheres of the legal compliance and do something more, adopt more tax responsible approaches to help with domestic revenue mobilization. Yeah, we all believe in our new agenda of Ghana Beyond Aid. I don't think any of us want to see Ghana borrowing to finance our development. We want a Ghana where we have enough domestic revenue to finance our development. And this can only happen if we all do more. And we believe the multinational companies and the big corporate bodies are in a perfect position to help contribute more, go a step further, more than the spheres of the legal confines.
Dr. Alice Ampabi is fiscal policy analyst at Oxfam Ghana. Now, Ghana is expected to soon review its maritime policy and come out with a national maritime transport policy, that is the NMTP. The new policy, which will address transport challenges facing the industry, has become necessary after the country revised its transport policy in 2018. Jonathan Pache, who is the acting director for program management and coordination with the International Maritime Organization, said the move will strengthen the capacity of Ghana in operating with other countries.
For Ghana to develop its national maritime transport policy, because Ghana has just reviewed its national transport policy, which sets out the objectives for the transport sector as a whole. The difference it will bring will essentially provide a plan on how the sector will be developing in the next few years, and also identify any gaps which needs to be, so to say, treated in order for the sector to develop in the next few years in respect of global international maritime standards. Both those respecting the safety and the security of ships, and also those which are adopted in order to protect the marine environment.
Jonathan Pache is with the International Maritime Organization. And now, to improve claims payment systems, boost penetration in the informal sector, such as in agriculture and in the micro insurance sector, Joy Business is organizing the Joy Business Financial Services Forum. On one stage, that is going to bring together all the stakeholders from the insurance industry to discuss in detail all the issues and come up with solutions. The topic for this forum is recapitalizing to grow, a panacea for expansion, penetration, and big business underwriting. The date is on Tuesday, March 19th, and the venue will be Tang Palace. The time is 9:30. And finally, before I go, the shares of GCB Bank gained 1 peso on its value, closing trading today at 3 cedis 90 pesos. Goil and Ecobank Ghana Limited were the losers of the day, as they lost 5 pesos and 12 pesos respectively. Remember that Business on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN. Welcome to the new world of business and Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you? My name is Novan Akwa-Hayford.
Hello and welcome to the MTN Weather Report. Minimum still, I'm not for and dry. But this year, whatever your needs are, we're there for you. Now the details of my weather report. 15,000 cities could blow from the intertropical boundaries across the country. We can also see a mist of fog patches of 25,000 cities and a heavy monetary downpour of 30,000 cities are a move to more treat the dry season across the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere you go, whether it be school fees or acquisition fees, we're there for you. Rent advance, salary advance, your sorted advance, because with MTN, we're there for you. Now keep talking, browsing, texting, and sending Momo to accumulate points and win prizes each month to cushion you this year in the MTN More For You promo. 80 dial *120#. Now check your points. We're there for you everywhere you go.
Everybody, make us see you do the dance. Do the dance.
But the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Let us help you bank with the right bank. At First National Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a digital partner that actually understands your business. Enjoy massive value with our various banking solutions. Get a business check account, a day-to-day transactional account for all businesses from all sectors of the economy. Access our online banking enterprise and bank your way 24/7. Invest with our short or long-term options that enable immediate access to funds. Optimize your cash flow, raise capital, and acquire assets with ease with our lending solutions. Trade with speed, consistency, and innovation with our global payments and forex solutions. With so much value up for grabs, there is no reason not to bank with First National Bank. First National Bank. How can we help you?
Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us here on Newsnight. Now let's head to the University of Education, Winneba, because some lecturers and students of the university are calling on government to intervene in the tussle between some dismissed lecturers and UTAG on one side and the Vice-Chancellor, Reverend Professor Anthony Aful-Bruni, on the other side to save the image of the university. Richard Kujonyako has been following the recent protests by a section of the students from the university and reports that some students and lecturers are worried about the situation, and they also want government to call the MP for Efutu, Alexander Afenyomarking, to order.
On the North Campus, the students are demonstrating. But the South Campus, the students are not demonstrating. The students are attending lectures. The lecturers are at the lecture theatre. And so we've been speaking with some of the students who have attended lectures and are still attending lectures.
This whole demonstration started from the North Campus. So particularly here, we've not seen that kind of demonstration. It's, as you can see, even though we are all around, but people are not, putting on any red to show that they are demonstrating on such.
Lectures ongoing?
Particularly for South Campus, lectures are going.
Today you've attended lectures? Yesterday you attended lectures?
Even as I'm here, by 30 minutes time, I'll attend to lectures. When you go to the lecture halls, people are having lectures as well.
Actually, the campus is divided into three and we happen to be at the south of it. So we just heard there's a demonstration ongoing at the north part of the campus. So we don't actually know the details. We don't know much about it. But I learned it's about the VC and some dismissal of some lecturers and staff. That's all I know.
So you guys are not worried?
Yes, for the south here, we are not really disturbed. Nothing is really affecting us except the police, coming around with their patrol car and then stuff. Aside that, since the demonstration started, the place has been very peaceful because we are not affected.
Right behind me, you can see the police patrol vehicle. They are patrolling the south campus of the university, ensuring that there is law and order. Some of the students that are at the north campus say they are going to demonstrate until the university rescinds its decision and reverses the dismissal of the lecturers. They have hit town. They've gone to the south campus, they've gone to the central campus, and they've been disrupting all the lectures that are ongoing. The Dean of International Studies at this university, Professor Yao Sechibedu, is worried about the national and the international image of the university. He wants the university to be allowed to run its full course.
When you want to engage in any action, you look at the action as against the expected result and to see whether the expected result that you say you expect can really be attained by the strategies you're using. And so I don't think that the current strategies go with the results which I think is being expected, which I find on the placards and the things, except also that there are other results we expect to happen which are not carried in our placards. And so if I see this happening this way, then it means that perhaps what we want to achieve is not what we have said really on the placards. There's something else we want to achieve, which all of us must know. What can be done? I think the university must run its full course. And I don't think that it is fair that people in classrooms or lecture rooms are being asked to leave. I'm in a meeting, workshop, seminar with some international guests from Germany, and the people nearly came to disrupt it. You know the implication it has on our international appeal, on our image as a university.
Al-Hassan Salif Bawa is a law lecturer here. He wants government to call the MP for to Alexander Kwame Afenyo to order.
Because we have evidence that some of these students, especially from the HIPES, that is a Health and Physical Education Department, we have information that these 200 students there, that is the whole department, that's their number, and Dr. Sapong, they are demonstrating because of Dr. Sapong and nobody else, and Dr. Sapong is from the HIPES. So it is this group of students that some people, for their own selfish interest, in order to hijack this university in terms of recruitment, in terms of contracts and what have you, they want to dip their hands into the funds of this university. And it is a shame that the whole of Ghana is keeping quiet and allowing one particular individual to actually perpetrate this on this country. It is high time this government sits up and do something about it. They need to call their member of parliament for Ifitu constituency, and that is Alex Afenyo, and they need to call him to order.
That's Richard Kujonyaku's report, and you heard the last person speaking there, making reference to the MP for Ifutu, Mr. Alexander Afenyo, and asking that government calls him to order, considering the tussle on the University of Education Winneba campus. We're working the lines to be able to raise Mr. Alexander Afenyo to hear him on this matter. But while we wait, Executive Director of the ARC Foundation, Angela Dramina Abuaje, says the silence by the police service on the status of efforts of finding the three missing girls in Takoradi is unnerving. According to Madam Dramina Abuaje, the families are losing hope each passing day with the loud silence of state security agencies over 200 days since the first girl disappeared.
They must be given some briefing to some people who would be able to let the family know that they're still working at it. The silence is unnerving, and it's not healthy for the families. It's a very painful thing, and my hope would be that really the state or the gender ministry or something would assign a group of psychologists or to these families to help them, maybe including police psychologists or something, to let them understand that honestly they are doing well, they are doing the best. Some briefing must also go on to a certain section of the public or to a certain group of people who can also sort of connect with the families.
That's the Executive Director of the ACT Foundation, Angela Dramina-Boaji. Now, let's stay a while longer on this depressing subject. You know that our campaign to bring back our tardy girls is still on. And we're told that schoolmates and teachers of the 3 girls have been speaking to correspondent Natalia Kwanso on how they are coping with the absence of their friends. Though they are losing hope of ever finding these girls, they say they await a time when they will hear news of the return of them.
On that Saturday, I called like more than 50 and there was no answer. Later on, I found out that she was kidnapped. During that week on the Tuesday, she came to my place. We spoke for a while. She was repairing her phone at some Shopee. These days, like anytime that I want to remember, I just look at a picture on my phone.
This is one of the many sad stories friends and family members of the 3 missing Takoradi girls continue to share
at Secondary College here in the Western region. This is where Priscilla Mantobia Cranche, the 3rd victim who was kidnapped on the 21st of December, attended school before the unfortunate incident. She is expected to be back in school on the 11th of May this year. I'm here to interact with the Assistant Headmaster of Administration, Kingsley Yankee.
As a school, we were saddened by the unfortunate incident because she is a young girl who has been brought here to pursue her home economics program. Unfortunately, some bad people have kidnapped her. It wasn't easy for us as a school. We are in the 2nd semester of Form 1, and within 2 months we'll finish with the 2nd semester, and this girl is still in 1st semester and she did only 2 months. So please help us to bring back our girls.
Everyone is hoping against hope that Priscilla comes back and join her colleagues.
Well, families of the 3 girls say their hopes are waning with each passing day. The trauma, we understand, has forced them to call into their rooms before 7 p.m. each night. Police say they do not have any new information on the 3 missing girls. But the campaign to bring back our tardy girls is still on, because it's been 209 days since Priscilla Blessing Bintum, the first of the 3 females believed to have been kidnapped in Takoradi, disappeared. Now the second, Ruth Love Kwesen, she's been gone for 100 days, whilst the third, Priscilla Mantobia Cranche, has been missing for 83 days. We still demand swift and consistent action from state security agencies. Hashtag bring back our tardy girls. You're still listening to Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. Lawyer Samson Ladi Ayenini is a legal practitioner and he's casting doubts on the commitment of the Electoral Commission to ensure the full implementation of the Representation of the People Amendment Act. Speaking at a program organized by the Center for Social Democracy on the theme, The Way Forward for the Implementation of the Representation of the People Amendment Act, Lawyer Ayenini says the Electoral Commission is using administrative procedures to delay the implementation of the Act and have simply gone to sleep on the matter of giving all Ghanaians abroad the opportunity to vote.
Can you tell me sincerely that you are committed to this goal? No amount of convincing by the EC will get me to believe that they are committed. They have gone to sleep from day one, except setting up a committee. And the committee getting the job done and shelving the report, as we typically do in many issues in this country. This small piece of document called a CI, Constitutional Instrument, which should contain the modalities, has taken us 13 good years. We don't have a draft. Look, if you gave this job to the dumbest Ghanaian, at least they would have had a draft. If you gave this job to the poorest Ghanaian, for as long as they have a pen and paper, they would have put something down. They would have put something down. 13 good years. Have you heard the EC's excuses? We need to plan it. So they have been planning for all this while, and yet they don't have a draft.
Legal practitioner Samson Ladi Ayenini now contributing to the discussion. MP and ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, stated that Ghana has to tread cautiously in the implementation of the Act.
The political parties have confidence in a process that the embassies are being proposed to be in the lead. If the MPP was in opposition and the NDC was in power, would they accept that? Currently, one of the issues that is simmering is the number of political appointees we have as ambassadors. Career diplomats are not too happy because the ratio. An ambassador in South Africa, the famous Excellency A.E.C. Boateng. You remember what he said? That he was there for MPP members first. Non-NDC members go and register in South Africa in a process that he is really spearheading. How credible do you think that the process will be? Even if he tries, would the NDC believe in the process? So our view is that if we want to do this, let's commit to doing it well. Let's find the resources. Let's make sure Ghanaians living everywhere. And let's stop this business of trying to use the embassies to usurp the constitutional provision. The position of the NDC is that if ROPA will be implemented, it should be everywhere or nowhere. Everywhere or nowhere.
You heard Samuel Okujetua Blakwa. He's ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament. It's a good time to do sports, and Hans Mensarando is in the
I've got a very interesting story. And it's about Asante Kotoko midfielder Kwame Bonsu. Now, in October 2017, Kwame Bonsu was sentenced to a 2-year jail term by a Swedish court for allegedly assaulting his partner. He was released after 11 months and deported to Ghana. He signed for Kumasi Asante Kotoko in October 2018 and has since impressed in the Porcupine Warriors' CAF Confederations Cup campaign. The midfielder's stellar form has been rewarded with a maiden call-up into the senior national team, the Black Stars, and he says it is a dream come true to represent his country.
I mean, it feels good, you know. I believe this is every player's dream to play for the country, and this is what I've been working for a very long time. I've been working very hard, and by God's grace, I got the opportunity to represent the country, and I feel very good. Yeah, I've been through a lot, you know. But here we are today. I got the opportunity to relaunch my career with Kotoko, and here we are today. So with determination, prayers, hard work, everything is possible. So why not? I believe in hard work. You know, sometimes you might have the talent, but talent isn't enough. You will have to work hard, no matter what, and that's what I believe in. And hard work has been my secret. For all this while.
Well, if you go through jail into the Black Stars of Ghana, you must believe that everything is possible. Kwame Bonsu speaking there during Asante Kotoko's departure to Zambia for their CAF Confederations Cup showdown against Zesco. And talking of showdowns, tonight UEFA Champions League is on. And you saw the Cristiano Ronaldo action yesterday.
What a hat-trick it was.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
And tonight we look forward to Liverpool and Bayern
absolutely.
Munich.
Bayern Munich up against Liverpool is locked at goalless, and so it's still open for the two teams to see which one of them will be going through. Also, Barcelona are playing against
Who are you
Lyon.
placing your bet on?
for which one? Bayern or Liverpool?
But yeah.
None of them.
None of the above.
None of them.
Okay.
Maybe Evans could have told us Manchester United, or even though they are not playing tonight.
But we have live commentary tonight.
Definitely.
Right?
So George Adu Jr. and Gary Al Smith will be on. Build-up begins at 7:45 p.m.
Thank you very much, Hans. But I don't have good news because 2 days to Christmas, 9-year-old Christiana Aigba was knocked down at Opekuma Junction at Kaswa in the Central Region. The little girl, drenched in her own blood, was rushed to the Kaswa Polyclinic but was declared dead on arrival. Her death has angered residents who blame the accident on a defective traffic light at the junction. Joy News' Faustina Safo visited the family of Christiana Aigba and reports her parents are still struggling to get over the pain.
Quiet, distant, and distressed. Words that best describe the countenance of Mr. Hope Aigba, father of late Christiana Aigba, at the time of my visit. He fought back tears as he described the relationship he had with his daughter before her passing.
She is the kind of person who is always seen everywhere. She's the extrovert type. She's always with me. We do everything together. We even share the same shirt.
9-year-old Christiana Aigba was knocked down by a speeding vehicle. She was so hard hit, she was thrown more than 100 feet from where the car hit her. The driver, who was on phone whilst driving, claimed she did not notice the pedestrian traffic light had signaled green and that her attention was on the dysfunctional secondary traffic light ahead. Mr. Hope Aigba recounts he was at Ablekuma for a business transaction when he heard the news.
I met a colleague at the entrance, so he told me that my daughter is late and that I should take heart. I requested to see her. So I saw her and then she was lifeless.
Christiana Aigba died on the 23rd of December and was buried 7 days later. Few meters away from their house is a junction where Christiana was knocked down. Months after her death, the secondary traffic light is still not functioning.
We, the local drivers, are aware the secondary traffic light is not functioning, so we know how to maneuver our way around it. But first-time users are not aware, so that's what causes the accidents.
Angry residents want the district authorities to fix it.
Yes, traffic light, because we are all contributing, we are all pay tax. So all this help drivers to move and they stop the road accident.
We are begging you people should do something for us, especially our next generation. They can't be killing our children on this road.
Few meters away from Opekuma Junction is CP Junction. Here, I am told an accident occurred involving a tipper truck. The truck veered off the road, hitting the traffic light pole, dislocating it instantly.
Traffic is saying, 1 year.
It's been a year since the incident occurred, but authorities have done nothing. Cars keep knocking down children and even pregnant women here.
How many more lives must be lost before authorities fix the traffic light? I met with Assemblyman for Opekuma, Nanaya Mwafu.
I was informed and I called the urban host engineer about 2 days ago, and he said he has informed them, so they will come by the end of this very week, come and do it.
The rather sad story there, told by my colleague Faustina Safo. Now, a top police officer, Chief Superintendent Bafo Appinting, has been dragged to court by a Ghanaian businessman based in Norway for demolishing his 5-bedroom house in Accra. He's been accused of abusing his office, using his position to terrorize him and destroy his property without a court order. Maswala Gbagba has more.
It was a 5-bedroom.
I've met Abdul Razak Yusuf on the land where he put up the building. He has been here many times since the structure was pulled down, but says he's always in a state of disbelief anytime he visits to see his property reduced to rubble.
When he came in, luckily for me, one of my guys was here. So he hid and he got the video of his vehicle and the bulldozer entering my property to destroy my property. And he came with 4 or 5 police officers.
Razak says the police officer abused his office by using his position and power to destroy his building without any authorization from a court.
He abused his power because I will not challenge a police officer coming to my property with guns. I will never challenge him. I care about my life. I follow the law. I believe in the law. Law, it takes time, but the truth will come. So I will not do anything. But I know he's using his uniform to intimidate me, to do what he wants to do. He's doing what he wants to do. He's not doing what the law says he should do. If somebody comes onto my property or somebody's on my property, I'll do the right thing. Take him to court, let the court rule, and tell him, oh, this is the issue.
The police officer, who is also a lawyer, says the structure that was destroyed is just a footing or an uncompleted building. He says he does not need a court order because the building was on his land.
I don't need a court order. If I have my land, go to section 39 of the criminal code. The use of force, where the use of force is justified. Go and read it. If you know this is your property and a registered title property, I don't need a court order. I was looking for the owner to come. I will not wait for him to finish building before I say I will go to court and do that.
That's the Chief Superintendent Bafo Appinting there, ending Maxwell Agbagba's report. And just before we let you off, or before I go, would give you a flip side. And you know that the rivalry between Ghana and Nigeria goes beyond who is the most confident. It's also been the rivalry on who cooks the best jollof and who plays the best soccer. And today, that rivalry just took a diplomatic turn. We'll leave you with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, who's just joined that debate. I am Emefa Apau. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Strong and Sassy comes up next, and we're talking women empowerment on course or mere rhetoric.
The executive director also noted that Ghana used to be the #1 membership country